Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Treka, and today we're gonna be talking about the Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau.
A pretty boy Canadian named Justin. What could possibly go wrong?
Now, a lot of Canadians have been criticizing Justin Trudeau for allowing in ISIS members into Canada. Check this out.
You say that you're concerned about the safety of Canadian citizens, yet at the same time, you're trying to reintegrate all of these ISIS fighters that have left and have taken part in horrible acts overseas. You want to bring them back to this country. How are you going to make sure we're all safe in your vision of Canada?
Okay. On the issues of foreign travelers, I take advice from our intelligence agencies and security agencies on the issues of foreign travelers.
Okay, wait a minute. Did you just call ISIS members foreign travelers? Seriously, that statement alone caused goosebumps to enormously surround my nipples. Foreign travelers. What's next? Are you going to start calling rapist sex enthusiast? Listen, Habibi, this is a very serious issue and the Canadian people have legitimate questions. Check this out.
I just want to know how your stance on ISIS is going to help Canadians in any way. I need to know how you're going to protect future Canadians like my young daughter and 10, 15, 20 years from now when you're letting people in with an ideology that just does not conform to what we're doing here.
Well, I can tell you, when Italian families settled in Montreal in the post-war years, they faced terrible discrimination and people who pushed back at them and said, no, you don't belong here, you don't speak English or French.
What the hell, man? Did you just compare Italian immigrants that came to Canada with ISIS members? The guy didn't ask you about Syrian immigrants. He was asking you about ISIS members that you are allowing in Canada.
Every wave of immigration has faced pushback because of how they dressed or how they sounded or what their belief was, what their religion was.
This isn't about immigration, you infected pimple. The Canadian people aren't against the entry of ISIS because of their religion or the way they look, sound, or sneeze. They are against the entry of ISIS because of the actions and crimes they have committed abroad. I mean, they have seen what they did in Syria and Iraq, and the Canadian people want none of it in Canada. Which is a pretty legitimate argument.
And every wave of immigration has led to Canada being a better, stronger, more resilient, richer country. And that, I know, is not changing.
Yeah, it's the Prime Minister that needs changing.
Mr. Speaker, CSIS warned the Liberal government all the way back in 2015 that returning ISIS fighters were a continuing and real threat to Canada. They warned that Canadian citizens were recruited by ISIS, quote, not because they needed more foot soldiers, but because they want to teach the Westerners to take the struggle into every neighborhood and subway back home. So ISIS specifically trained Canadian fighters to come back here and terrorize our community, and the Liberals knew about it for over 2 years. So why is the Prime Minister so focused on reintegration services and not putting these people in jail?
Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, this government, like all governments, takes extremely seriously the safety of Canadians, and that's why everything we do is focused on keeping Canadians safe.
Yeah, right. And bringing in ISIS members to Canada is going to keep the Canadians safe from terrorist attacks. That's like saying I'm going to stop wearing condoms in order to keep my body safe from STDs.
And we know that a society that is safe is one in which we are using a broad range of tools to keep Canadians safe. We also have methods of de-emphasizing or de-programming people who want to harm our society, and that's the things we have to move.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition. Order.
Mr. Speaker, it's this Prime Minister's that's de-emphasizing Canadian security, and Canadians are tired of it. Conservatives who amended the criminal code to make it an offence to leave Canada to fight for ISIS. It was Conservatives who were focused on giving our law enforcement new tools to prosecute ISIS fighters. This Prime Minister is using a broad spectrum that includes poetry and podcasts and all kinds of counselling and group hug sessions, Mr. Speaker. When will the Prime Minister take the security of Canadians seriously and look for ways to put these ISIS fighters in jail?
Right, Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservative Party learnt nothing from the last election and the lessons Canadians taught them. They ran an election on snitch lines against Muslims. They ran an election on Islamophobia and division. And still, they play the same games trying to scare Canadians. The fact is, we always focus on the security of Canadians, and we always will. And they play politics of fear, and Canadians reject that.
Okay, thank you everybody. Now sit your flat behinds down. You all remind me of Bill Maher's audience that will cheer for anything the guy says.
You love it when he drives us crazy, don't you?
Now back to Justin Bieber. You accuse the other party for using politics of fear, which is a very dumb thing to say, because their fear is legitimate. I mean, what do you expect ISIS members to do when they reach Canada? Become DJs or belly dancers? These aren't people willing to integrate to Western society. These are people that want the Western society to integrate to their ignorant ideology. They were here in Syria and they killed and slaughtered everyone who refused to follow their lifestyle and ideology. Their ideology tells them that it is their duty to spread Sharia law all over the world. So why are you risking the Canadian people's lives with this kind of nonsense?
Running a country, you know. That one's a sorry.
Believe me, as a Syrian living in Syria, I assure you it only takes one ISIS member to blow up a public place and kill tens or hundreds of people. Do you really think that these maniacs are interested in integrating to Canada's free and democratic society? Of course not. Habibi, they have bigger ambitions. They are more interested in killing non-believers to go to heaven to their 72 hairy virgins. Yes, virgins, because these maniacs are like vampires. They'll go anywhere for blood. So please take your politically correct language and throw it in the nearest dumpster where it belongs. I mean, don't you think it's kinda strange to see a Syrian living in Syria that cares about the Canadian people's security and safety more than their Prime Minister? Listen, Mr. Justin, these people are dangerous. And Canada's security should be your priority. Nice haircut, by the way. That will be all for today. Thank you so much guys for watching. My name is Treka. Please make sure to follow me on Facebook and subscribe to my YouTube channel to stay updated with my latest work. And please support me by sharing this video if you agree with what I said. I wish you all peace, safety and security. Goodbye.